everyone. Welcome to Data Revolution. In this session, we'll cover some important big data concepts together. Before proceeding, I would like to share that all the sessions of Data Revolution are there to provide guidance to college graduates and IT professionals who are so curious to know about big data but are puzzled where to start from. I'll start with a very famous quote on big data, which states, "You can have data without information, but cannot have information without data," which is so true as per today's trend. As we know, nowadays, organizations use big data and analytics to work with their data efficiently and use that data to identify new opportunities. These new opportunities lead to answering important customer questions, make confident decisions, optimize and understand business processes, generate valuable insights. So, with this thought, we move forward to cover what is big data, what are the characteristics of big data, how does big data work? What is big data? As we already know, big data is a huge volume of data which cannot be stored in a single system or traditional applications. By huge volume, I mean terabytes, petabytes, or even zettabytes of data. And in our laptop or in our computers, we do not have that capability to store such huge volume of data. We definitely need certain specialized softwares and hardwares to make sure such huge volume of data is stored and can also adapt to changing needs. There are many different sources from where data is getting generated. It can be in the form of digital images in social media networks such as Twitter, medical records in hospitals, financial records in banks, online shopping websites such as Amazon, Face, Flipkart, etc. With data comes the challenges on how to store, filter, transfer, analyze, and visualize this huge amount of data to generate business insights. Now, here are some interesting big data statistics. Google gets over 3.5 billion searches daily. WhatsApp users exchange up to 65 billion messages daily. 90% of all data has been created in the last 2 years. The driving force behind big data is the datafication of information. By datafication, we mean nowadays, when we take a walk, we also want to know how many calories we have burnt or how many steps we have taken today. We make use of the apps in our phones to calculate this, and due to the machine learning models which are being used, they also generate data and also use the historical data to give us the insights. Surprisingly, 99.5% of collected data never gets used or analyzed. So much potential wasted. Now we'll cover the characteristics of big data. Volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value are the key characteristics of big data. We can also say that these are the behaviors of big data. By volume, we mean the size of big data. Velocity, the speed at which the data travels. Variety, how many different data types are there. Veracity is the accuracy, and value is the actual business insights we'll derive out of big data. So let us cover this one by one. So volume, as I told, is the size of the data. It can range from terabytes to petabytes of data. With the increasing data demands, volume is also increasing exponentially every year. We also find it as one of the challenges to store such data in a single server. So we'll cover how we resolve these challenges, but first we'll go through all the key characteristics. Velocity. Velocity is the speed at which big data is getting collected. How fast the data travels, which means the frequency of data can be in form of batches or it can be real time. Real time is also known as streaming. So while I'm posting something on Twitter, let's say I post a tweet. So as soon as I post that tweet, it's instantaneously visible to everyone. So that means that is a continuous or streaming data. And when we talk about batch data, by that we mean that data is getting collected, but it will be processed after a fixed interval of time. So these are the two types of data, or we can say the frequencies of the data. By variety, we mean data is not restricted to a particular type or format. Variety is the different types of data which are getting captured. Based on the different sources of data that exist, we can broadly categorize data into structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So in this diagram, we can easily make out what is the meaning of structured data. We can see there's a database kind of thing and a flat file which is having certain numbers. So we can make sure that structured data means that data is getting confirmed to a data model and has an easily identifiable structure. By easily identifiable structure, I mean that data is stored in the form of rows and columns. So SQL databases, spreadsheets such as Excel, OLTP systems, online forms come under structured data. Next, we move on to unstructured data. So unstructured data, we can see there are certain images, PDF, videos, audio, etc. So in unstructured data, data neither conforms to a data model nor has any structure. Data lacks any particular format or sequence. So it does not have any easily identifiable structure. Due to this problem, we cannot use directly it in computer programs. We need to do certain transformation or filtering or processing to make sure it is processed by us. Sources of structured data are web pages, images, videos, memos, reports, PowerPoint presentations, etc. Now comes semi-structured data. So semi-structured data is a data which does not conform to a data model but has some structure. So it lacks a fixed schema, but it has a particular structure which makes it a bit easy to analyze. For example, XML, JSON, also emails, certain binary executables, zipped files, and integration of data from different sources also come under semi-structured data. So now we move and cover veracity. Veracity is the quality or trustworthiness of the data. This is equivalent to data accuracy. So while we talk about data accuracy, we also need to know whether our data is completely clean or it contains corrupt records. For example, if I'm processing order data, so at the raw form, I can get order data, which can be fraudulent or cancelled orders. So at the end of my analysis, I may not be sure that my analysis was done on the form of pure data or it had certain discrepancies. This is about veracity. Now we cover value. So value is one of the most important characteristics. It considers the business insights out of the data. Value is the actual worth of the data which is being collected. So all the organizations, when they showcase their products, they are in the form of the dashboards and which indicates the value of the data, like how quickly or how easily we made out the insights of the raw data. For example, when we are comparing sales data of different products, we compare it in the form of Tableau or Power BI charts, and we show them that this is the actual sales data which we gathered. This is all about the behavior of big data. Now we'll cover how does big data work? So, or how we work with big data. So, as per this diagram, we can understand the flow of big data as collect, store, process and analyze, and finally consume and visualize. So first, we need to collect data. in the raw form, or we can say directly from the sources. We need to store it somewhere, and then we can process it and analyze it. And finally, we can consume the processed data and visualize them and also derive insights out of it. So let us cover these stages one by one. So collect data. By collection of data, I mean collecting the raw data. For example, transactions, logs, mobile devices, or any particular source of data. So when we collect data, that is called raw data. So data in the raw form can be either structured or unstructured. So we understood what is the structured and unstructured data. It can also be in real time or batch data. We also covered real time and batch data. So for real time, it can be any source of data. For example, any application which is real time and ingesting data continuously. And batch can be an amount of data which is fixed and will be consumed in a fixed interval. So these are certain things which we consider in batch data. For example, the collection of data points that have been grouped together within a specified interval. So a very practical example of batch data is our electricity bill. So while we are consuming electricity, at the end of the month, we get our electricity bill. So it is a fixed interval of time and we get our data at the end of every month. Similarly, payroll is also an example of batch data. Now come the real-time data or streaming data. So data which is generated continuously by thousands of data sources, which typically send in the data records simultaneously and in small sizes, comes under the category of real-time data or streaming data. For example, customer service systems, data streaming applications, radar systems, bank ATMs, transactions, etc. Store data. This is the second stage of our data lifecycle. We need a secure, scalable, and durable repository to store data prior or even after processing tasks. So that means we need our storage of data in such a way that whenever we need it, it can be easily accessed, it can be easily used, and also processed by other applications and services which are working on big data. So if you see my previous video, I explained certain data storage tools. So data stored can be stored in HDFS, Amazon S3, NoSQL databases, MongoDB, Cassandra, or SQL databases as well. So how HDFS stores information is that when it stores information, they are made up of small blocks, and these blocks are stored in physical storage units such as internal disk drives. So this is all about stored data. Process and analyze data. Now we gathered the data, we are storing it somewhere, and now we need to make it in a consumable format so that it can be delivered to the end user. So how we do it and what's the process called? The process of converting the raw data to a consumable format of data is called data transformation. So under data transformation, there are many processes like cleaning data, for example, removal of corrupt records, aggregating data, joining data, sorting data, and even performing more advanced functions and algorithms. So when we get the resulting data sets, they are further stored for processing, and then they are made available for consumption via business intelligence and data visualization tools. So some of the important data processing frameworks are Apache Spark, Hadoop MapReduce, Apache Storm. So when this data is processed, this data is stored in data warehouses such as Hive, Impala, etc. And then we can easily visualize them. So the last stage is the consume and visualize data. So by visualizing data, we mean we want to see the high value actionable insights from our data assets. So now when we present our data to stakeholders, we present it through business intelligence and agile data visualization tools that allow for fast and easy exploration of datasets. End users may also consume the resulting data in the form of statistical predictions in case of predictive analytics. So this is a term which we use in machine learning, or recommended actions in the case of prescriptive analytics. For example, I want to know which of the products is selling more. I can see from the dashboards that this product is having this much performance and the other product is having another performance. And I can compare within these two products. So some of the helpful tools for visualizing data are Tableau, Power BI, and Google Analytics. So these are the various stages of data, or how we work with data. So with this, we are coming to the end of our session. If you like this video, please encourage me to make more videos. Do a like, share, subscribe, and thank you everyone for watching.